13 ways to detect AI written content. AI written content is everywhere right now, and detecting it is very difficult, and in the future it will be much more difficult or even close to impossible. And it's quite a problem because websites probably will become fully AI written, because why would you waste your time writing articles when you can use AI? Also, academia, there's a huge problem in academia because AI content, basically it's just written by someone else, so it's kind of like um, not your own effort. And as it says in academia, AI content detection helps uphold standards of originality and validity, making sure that contributions are genuinely reflective of human effort and intellect. So that's why it is important, and also for SEO, Google, and overall, you do want to read what people are saying and not what AI has created in most of the times, unless you are looking for a specific information. Maybe then, AI is okay. So how can you detect AI written content? First thing is repetitive writing. Yeah, AI, generally, if you just ask a question and it starts to write you an answer, it can be quite repetitive. If you just write a prompt and say, write me an article about X topic, you might get very little content there and everything will be repetitive. Though, with time, this is going to be uh, harder to detect because AI, if you are good at writing prompts, you can make sure that it does not repeat. You can give better guidelines how your article should be written, and it's not going to be easy just from repetitive writing to understand if an article is written with AI. Next, we have formulaic sentence structures. Look for words and structures that native speakers would rarely use. Sure, this is going to be an issue for AI for quite some time, because AI is using content from all over the internet and not everyone speaks perfect English, not everyone is a native speaker, and there's a lot of crappy content created, and AI learns from it and it uses that inside of its articles as well that it creates. So it depends how the language model is being trained, and if you would create a language model that's specific for creating articles, this would be easily fixed. Though it's not a huge problem because you can basically generate an article, use Grammarly on that article, and you can basically fix all your problems. Well, 90% of it. So in the future, I think only poorly structured, if you don't use proper prompts for your articles, then yeah, this will be a telltale sign that it is written with AI, though it is very easy to go around it. And next, excessive use of AI typical words. It's a pretty similar topic because, yeah, AI is trained by the content on the internet from many articles, many texts around the internet, and yeah, some words are used more than others. There's also this dynamic of that some words AI tends to use more, but we have over here a list of crucial, delve, dive, tapestry. They are not, some of these aren't used that often by people, I guess, and not too common, but AI likes them, and yeah, it is a tell sign. Though if you are writing good prompts and you don't want that your article would sound like it's written with AI, you can just tell it, don't use these words or use it very sparingly in the text, and ChatGPT will generate an article without these words. So maybe it then will use other words and that list would go around, but overall people are using different words and it's hard to differentiate if it was written with AI or a person just likes these words and uses them often. So it's not a very accurate measure. Next we have inaccurate facts and claims. AI ChatGPT 3 did a lot of mistakes. Then we had ChatGPT 4 and I think it started making even more mistakes, factual claims that are incorrect, and you just could tell that it is hallucinating. And overall, even right now with ChatGPT 4.0, we still can get answers that are just flat out wrong. And this is easy to detect, though on the other hand, people are also making mistakes, though sometimes AI can create, just crazy funny stories where you just know it's not right. Though in general, if you are just generating articles that are pretty basic, don't require a lot of knowledge, then it will not make mistakes. And it really depends. Though if you are going for topics that are new, that don't have a lot of knowledge about them, then it might create a lot of different inaccuracies. And I think in the future this will still be one of the better ways how you can detect AI content, if there is a lot of these mistakes, especially I guess in longer articles and longer texts. Next, monotonous tone of voice. Yes, if you just have a generic prompt where you say write me an article about X topic, then AI by default goes for a very monotonous, boring voice. Well, that a lot of people actually use. Though better writers, they have their own voice, they have their own humor, their jokes in the text, and that livens up the article and makes it more human. But it is not that difficult to ask AI, write your article with this style in mind, make it funny, add some jokes, etc., etc., and then you will not be able to detect if if a text is actually written with AI. So this is one. Basically, if the article is poorly written with AI, then you will be able to detect it, but it is an easy way around it. Number 6 is use AI detector tools to detect, though there is a problem that even OpenAI, they tried to create their own classifier for AI generated text and they failed. Basically, they was not able to create a reliable enough classifier that would say that this is AI content, this is not AI content, because the lines are very blurry and ChatGPT can create very human-like content. And for example, if you are not that good of a writer, chances are that your text will be closer to what AI can produce. So yeah, we are living in times where it is very difficult to detect if content is AI written or not. And also in that article, and they talk about the reliability, and basically the longer the text that AI needs to create, there are more chances that an AI detection tool will find some patterns, will find some irregularities and be able to more accurately classify it as AI or not AI. because in a longer text, AI has more chances of making these mistakes of repeating words, repeating information, etc. So if you have like an article of 500 words, all these tools will probably spin out false positives and you will not be able to detect them. Next, generic explanations without details. Yes, usually AI, as we already talked about monotonous voice, it also gives broad descriptions of topics, and it usually lacks details. Though with proper prompting, this is also easily avoidable. You can say to ChatGPT, add more details, add personal touch, and it will create that. Is it going to be very accurate? Maybe not, but with time I think at this point is going to vanish and is not going to be very valid, because with proper prompts you can avoid just this blabbering of AI and adding more details, adding more concrete stuff into it. Unmet search intent. Yeah, I tried recently uploading an image of a meme on the internet which was about Full Metal Alchemist. It was a meme that I didn't understand myself, and I put it in ChatGPT and it explained me how the characters interacted and why was the meme funny. So it was quite interesting, and usually AI in most generic stuff, it does understand even nuanced context, and I think right now, yes, you can understand that if, for example, you have a search query that you want to write an article about, sometimes it will not write an article that's on the topic, but most of the times it will. So I think it's just a matter of time where ChatGPT will be better and better, and you will not be able to differentiate the articles based on search intent. That it made a mistake and it's not written about the topic that it should write about. So, yeah. Lack of subject matter expertise. I think this is the main differentiator between AI and human written content, because us humans, we can go to the world and we can gather experience, gather our own knowledge, and we can write about it. Whereas AI, it can only read what other people has written, train from it, and then it can create articles. So yeah, this is the most important point. Lack of subject matter expertise. Even with magic prompting, you cannot go around it. It can create different fake facts, different fake stories, how it did stuff, but it cannot win over personal experience. So yeah, this is one of the better ways how you can differentiate AI content from real person written content. Outdated content. I think this is no longer relevant. If I remember correctly, in ChatGPT 3.5, the learning date from which it had data about was like 2022, and it was pretty awkward because you would ask questions about new relevant topics and you would get no answers. But if you use Bing.com and you use their model of chat, I think they're using ChatGPT 4 right now, and it basically has all the information on the internet and it can browse the net and you can ask anything, and I think ChatGPT 4.0 also is able to browse the internet. So yeah, this point is outdated and it's no longer a valid version. Still, I think AI models are trained more on previous data, because there is more data in the past than in relevant topics. So if you would if you would create articles mainly about current topics, there would be much more mistakes that AI would make. So it's half a point, I guess, over here. Absence of personal experience, I think it is very similar to lack of subject matter expertise, because, well, it does not have personal experience, though it can fake it, it can create fake stories, etc. But overall, when reading AI content, you will notice that there is no interesting details in there or interesting facts that it found out, that you usually find in proper human written articles. Unconvincing storytelling, what do you mean by that? Do conclusions naturally flow? Yeah, I have not played a lot with this, because I didn't really bother enough to create stories with AI, though I think it will have a bit of a problem creating stories that are very linear and not basically falling off the storyline. So yeah, if you are creating stories with AI, I think it's quite difficult to solve it with proper prompts, and this is quite a valid point how you can detect AI written content. Difficulty with sarcasm, I think that was, yeah, I think I would say it's just like a general mistake, as it does not really understand anything. It's just a language model, and it basically just guesses what the next word should be. And if it doesn't have proper training on sarcasm, it will use it in a wrong way. So yeah, though I think it is possible to detect some articles if the sarcasm is used not precisely. So that's that for the article. So in my opinion, there's like only 2 or 3 points that are still valid and will be valid in the future. Valid ways how you can detect AI written content. A lot of these are very easy to avoid with proper prompts, because usually if you are doing SEO and creating articles, you will not write a basic prompt like write me an article about this keyword. People are way beyond that point. They are putting style sheets, how the sentences should be formed, and well, basically you can write very elaborate prompts and get much better results, and that will not trigger any AI content detection. So hope you enjoyed this video, and I'll see you in the next one.